Thank you everyone. Thank you Liz. Oh, Washington Hall, Lab Theater. We did a show here last year, so I'm kind of used to this space already, this stage. It's not a lot of room, you know? How can it, okay. Backwards hat.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Austin.
Austin. This stage is only marginally bigger than Austin's mom's vagina. That's about what we're working with right here. Sorry, ma'am, what's your name? Kara. This stage is only marginally bigger than Kara's dad's butthole. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Both sides of the fence, progressive comedy. 2016, baby. This is what we're bringing to the table. Thanks for being good sports, guys. What majors are you? What do you do? I assume you're both students.
I'm an economics major.
Economics? Biology. Okay. Thank God neither of you said engineering. Economics. Yeah, because I'm an English major. So it's very easy for me to be like, somebody says accounting or finance, which I'm told are different things. I just be English major, just be like, oh, what are you gonna do? You're gonna count all the money you make forever? And they're like, yeah. It's pretty much the plan. But there's that natural dichotomy between numbers and letters, and there's math people over here on this aisle, like, oh my God, you guys are homeless. And we're like, corporate sellouts, give us money. But engineers are just in this whole other space that you can't really do anything with. Like, there's that back and forth going on. And then engineers are over here like, yeah, I make robot hearts for orphans. Like, what? Do they even need those? And they're like, no, it's just good to have a backup. We're always designing things. You're like, okay, buddy, just go, design a power grid for a huge municipal area or something. Christ, get out of my face. So, speaking of jobs, segues. Any career fair people? People go to the career fair? Round of applause. I tried to get around you guys on my bike. I know there were more of you there, but no, I actually I tried to go to the career fair. But English major, the armed guards didn't let me in. I really thought I had it worked out. I put on a nice suit, pocket square. This guy knows when sales are at Men's Warehouse. And gave the dogs some jerky and everything. Then they just threw me a curveball right when I thought I made it past them. They're like, wait, hold on, what's a gross domestic product? And I'm like, oh, shit. Chris Christie. And then just pounds into my flesh, just fuck. So yeah, that was a little bit rough. But I did help some of my more driven friends with their cover letters for their resumes or whatever they are. Never seen one. And just typographical stuff because I'm the words guy. But I had that moment when I was working on one of my friend's letters where I just wanted that thing that we all do, where you just put in I hate black people. It's a common thing. And obviously there's the fear with that is that they get that and they're like, well, we're not hiring this guy. But I think it's more important to consider what happens if they hire you. Because that means one of two things. Either this company that you think is really great or whatever, and you're trying to get hired by, they just don't even give a shit. They're just hiring everyone. They're not even reading their letters. Or you go in on your first day of work, Monday, sit down at your desk, and there's a Post-it note. They're like, meeting in the conference room at 3, bring a white sheet. And then you just roll in. Everyone's like, hey, burning cross. Glad to know you're cool. Welcome to Deloitte. Tough position to be in. Speaking of institutionalized racism, this is a quick story I gotta tell you guys. This took place my junior year of high school. I was in AP US History. It was taught by our school's water polo coach. I played water polo, so I knew him well. I called him James, just for the benefit of the rest of the story, also out of respect for authority. And one of James's favorite teaching methods was to have trials, where we would take a historical person and put them on trial as a way to examine the person's life in greater detail, learn more in an interactive environment, blah. And one of our trials was Andrew Jackson, President Andrew Jackson. Now, I fucking hate Andrew Jackson. There's been this weird thing, internet articles where like suddenly Andrew Jackson is like this folk hero now, kind of, where like everyone's just like, oh my god, like, what a badass. He's a fucking psychopath who almost beat people to death with a cane and was in several duels, but people are just freaking out over this. I assume the Venn diagram of people who love Andrew Jackson is an exact circle with the same people who use black on black crime as an argument in online arguments. So that's just one circle, just like historical badass. Blue lives matter. Typing away. So I don't like Andrew Jackson. And I got assigned to be a defense lawyer for Andrew Jackson. You can see where this would pose a problem. I'm supposed to cross-examine Nicholas Biddle, who was the first president of the Bank of the United States. And I try to get out of this immediately. As soon as the assignment comes up, I'm like, James, don't put me on Andrew Jackson. I fucking hate Andrew Jackson. Don't do this to me. He just had this big, teacher shit-eating grin where it's like, I gave you an assignment, fucking roll with it, buddy. So I go home, I'm in front of my computer, and I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Google, tell me something. I put in Nicholas Biddle, and God love Google. The first thing that comes up is like a circa turn of the century HTML website, like Comic Sans, really loud colors, like iCarly website times 1,000. All about the way the Jews have controlled the United States since its inception through a variety of back alley things and all this stuff. And I'm like, great, on the bibliography. That's a well of inspiration right there. So now I roll in pumped. I'm doing my lawyer thing, I'm pacing back and forth. I'm kind of opening up soft where I have to actually attack him on the issues, like, oh, Bank of the United States, blah, blah, blah. It's like the weak hand job of the class period where I'm just like, can we get to the main act already? I square it up. First question is something I took off Wikipedia where like Nicholas Biddle supposedly watched his brother drown and didn't help him or something, I don't know. So I throw that at Nicholas Biddle, and the tenor in the room shifts. And James looks at me like somebody who just heard a song from like a distance that they don't really know. It's just kind of like... And then I let it fly, knockout punch. Mr. Biddle, is it true that you have associations with several prominent Jews? Exactly like that with the stank on it. And James looked at me much like I would assume that the Indians looked at the government officials when they told them they were going on the Trail of Tears. I was just like, what? How could you do this? So he goes, what? I go, James, this was appropriate for the time in American history. It's true, you can look it up, lots of anti-Semitism, just because, but other people make tissues. And he just goes, no, and I go, no further questions. Now, you might think that using basically a racial slur might not have been the best way to make a point about how much you dislike Andrew Jackson, but you guys have never been hired by Deloitte. Thank you.